Alright, so today we're going to do a little work on the bottom of the machine. We're going to take care of some of this little bit of rust and just clean up the back a little bit and do a little bit of cleaning in the like machine compartment. So I'm going to, first I have the machine on its belly. I put some moving pads down to protect the front, and I'm just going to wipe down the back and just kind of get the dirt off of it. And then I'm going to tip it over once more, and we're going to do a little rust protection or prevention or whatever you want to call it on the bottom rim of the machine. And then we should be done, so let's get started. Okay, so it is pretty clean now, and before I tip the machine completely over, I'm going to take care of this. There's a little bit of rust here, and I'm going to just do a little touch up towards the top here where this plug storage is, and then just the bottom here, so that way I don't have to struggle reaching it too much. So I'm going to get a moving pad, and I'm going to protect this from overspray, and I'm going to also hit this off with the little emery cloth to knock down some of the rust, and that should be that. So let me grab a moving. Okay, so we have everything nice and dry 10 minutes later, which is awesome. So at this point now, we're going to tip the machine onto its top again, and we're going to do the repair at the bottom of the machine. So the only thing that's of any concern to me at the moment is kind of around the edge of the table. There's some surface rust, and over here especially by the motor there's kind of a significant amount here. So what I'm going to do, another bottle of this PR15. This stuff is gray. There it is, gray. And so hopefully it'll match up kind of decent. It's definitely not going to be perfect, but it'll look better than rust. So we'll I'm going to get prepped with that, and then we'll just do a little perimeter around the table, and then once we're done with that, we'll work on the outside cabinet. One thing I did notice is if you look at the underside lip of this washer, I did spot a little bit more rust, so evidently I did miss a spot on the bottom. So I'm going to reach down there and knock that rust down, and I'm just going to shoot it with my pressurized paint. And the other side is actually almost perfect, but I'm going to hit that just a little bit. You guys definitely won't be able to see that, but I'll leave it on just in case you do. Well, yeah, you can see it almost perfect now. Look at that. Miracle of lighting. So I'm going to just touch that up with my Whirlpool pressurized paint, and we'll see what happens. I know what's going to happen. It's going to turn out perfect, as expected. This is the paint. It's really good stuff, guys. It dries nice and glossy. It matches almost perfectly with the original finish. And the only trick is there's a little bit of a learning curve applying this stuff. You do, it's like mandatory. You have to do like 3 coats, but it dries so quickly that you could reapply. You know, you could put 3-4 coats on in under an hour, and it's dry. Like, it's completely good to go in no time flat. So It looks much better in the camera than it does in real life, but it did turn out pretty good. So I'm gonna go do the other side now. Okay, so logic would tell you to do the inside before you do the outside, but the difference is this paint will dry in 10 minutes and this takes overnight. So I'm gonna do the outside and just wait 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll do the POR on the table, and then I could just flip the machine over and call it done. So the first step is I'm going to work out this little wrinkle that's right here in the cabinet. I'm not going to do too much because it's almost imperceptible. Now the trick to fixing a wrinkle like this is don't use force. Ideally, you just want to squish the wrinkle and just kind of bend it straight again, kind of like that. And I still have a little bit of a dent, so I'm just going to give it a little pound with my palm and see if I can get it straight. It's almost not even worth the trouble, but that's pretty good. We're not going to go too far with that. Don't go crazy with this, because if you try and get a wrinkle out, you might end up creasing the side of the cabinet, and then, well, the rest is history. So let me grab some more emery cloth, and we're going to do the top and the bottom, and we're going to hit these corners up pretty good, and we're going to just basically spray the whole perimeter of the base. So so just, with the emery cloth, just, hit it. You don't need to get it down to bare metal. Just get it clean and all the loose stuff off, because really all you're trying to do is you're just trying to seal it. And you could go crazy trying to sand it down to bare metal, because you'll probably never get there. So let's just get started. Okay, so we got it pretty good. Now we're gonna get to the painting part. Okay, so first I'm gonna do the underside of the cabinet, just so I don't know why, just because that's what I chose first. Alright, well, we're done. I ended up putting like 4 coats or something on around the perimeter of the base. I really wanted to make sure that everything was nice and sealed in, because this is the part that gets the most water, if it goes into a basement or whatever. I also touched up the table a little bit with the POR 15. The gray didn't match, but you're probably never going to see it. So yeah, that's it. So we're done. I'm going to flip it back over, and I'm just going to do one more kind of once over on everything, and that should be it. So then we should be able to retest this machine and hopefully be done, or at least real close to done. So finally reaching the home stretch. The last thing I did was paint the access panel. I didn't have a gray, so I decided to go white. And to all you purists out there, I'm sorry, but actually I think it turned out pretty good. Overall, this washer turned out absolutely fantastic. It took me a lot longer than I thought. I thought this was going to be like a 3-part video. It ends up being 5. But that's just how life goes with these things. I think I have a total of, legit 8 to 10 hours into this machine, between the cleaning and the painting and taking apart and putting back together. Not a lot of money invested. I paid $50 for the machine, the belt, the equivalent of a can of spray paint, and a little bit of the POR 15, which that one can will last me several machines. So not a big dollar amount investment, but a huge amount of time. So the washer's done. I put a nice, like, kind of overloaded load so you guys could see, and it actually, I overloaded it a little bit so you guys would hear the woo-woo noise on this machine. It's very pronounced on this one, so that's it, guys. I'll leave you with that, and enjoy the sound fest of this beautifully redone Whirlpool washer, and definitely look out for the next video. For those of you who don't know, I do make it a habit of giving away these old belt drive washers, so stay tuned.